Uganda.
So you find yourself growing up in Nigeria, going to school. So how do you move from what you experienced to now working in wealth building?
After living in Nigeria and seeing how people so struggled. I mean, that's the case here in the United States, quite frankly. You don't have to go to Africa for that. But seeing how people struggled. And then I came back, I went to Fisk University in Nashville, and Black people have always had a struggle. But at the end of the day, you know, when we talk about survival, we have to have money. Money has to be at least on the table somewhere in order for us to do well.
What do you
And
see as the landscape going forward? Are more and more people getting into home ownership? You know, there are a lot of different studies depending on who you listen to in the media. Some say there's an incline, some say there's a decline. What is the truth from your vantage point about home ownership in Black America, but home ownership in all of America?
the reality is people want to do better. There are many, many more people who want to own than want to rent. And this is 100% justified. The reality is it is becoming more and more and more difficult now to buy. Number one, the prices of homes across the board have increased. People are paying so much for rent that they can barely save for the down payment. So the down payment is so vitally necessary for people to buy. We need to have guidance on our credit issues and on our finances. I mean, there's just so many issues out here that people are just not aware of as far as credit. People need guidance, and they don't need to be told, look, pay every bill every month, because the average person just cannot do that. But the reality is that we also need a little motivation, particularly for people of color, because we hear nothing about but the negatives. That's number one. And there are too many denials. This is a huge issue in the mortgage industry, where you decide that you want to buy a home, you just up and go to a realtor. You don't know what your credit score is. You don't really want to look at your credit score because that's just stressing you out anyway. You go to a realtor and hope and pray that you're going to be able to buy. Well, the reality is that every lender is going to look at what you paid somebody else or how you paid someone else. And
So your credit report becomes important.
Credit report is critical. The credit score is critical. And the reality is everyone has errors on their credit reports. Everyone really, there are things about your credit report and increasing your credit score that the average person just doesn't even know. So the guidance about credit, and this is where organizations like HomeFree-USA come into play.